Okay, so we're gonna mostly focus on the laning stage. That's like the main thing that you want to focus on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Share my screen with you. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So
Oh,
you're
by the
mostly
way,
a carry player then?
yeah, I have been. Just by the way, I fed the neutral so I could buy a curry.
You what?
I neutral denied so I could buy a courier quite early.
Oh,
Just warning you.
okay. You mean nobody bought a courier, so you had to
Yeah.
go back to base and do that?
Yeah, I punched them down really low and then I died to neutrals so I could TP.
Cool, that's fine.
I don't know if it was strategically the best tactic, but
Well, I think you're gonna have to be a little creative with this game, considering you've got a support Ricky. Support, quote unquote, Ricky. Not really a support. And
yeah, not supporting the slightest.
yeah. Offlane Drow Legion mid axe. Is that what's happening?
No, Drow went mid.
Okay.
Drow carried hard from mid, so
Okay.
I'm glad Drow went mid. We would have lost at 20 minutes if Drow wasn't in mid.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so the first thing, actually, get your player perspective. So, are you checking these heroes that are showing right now? Have you checked their items?
No, I didn't even realize they were showing at the time.
Yeah.
I realized they were showing after the bounty room grab.
Yeah. That's one of the first things you should always be doing, is just gathering as much information as possible. You have the Ricky giving you the vision of these two guys, so you know that, okay, Luna has a set of tangos and a healing salve, and Sven has a set of tangos and a healing salve also. So it's not really that much regen, but it's just always good to know like how much effective health they have going into the lane, so that you know whether it's good to actually be aggressive on them or not.
Yeah.
I'm curious why you're deciding to push the lane here.
That's just bad habits.
Okay. Yeah, because now this lane is pushing, and like this would be okay in certain scenarios, but in this one where you don't really have any support, it's just a Ricky who's also auto-attacking creep wave. Like, generally you're gonna want to try and freeze the wave right here, because otherwise you're gonna get harassed down pretty badly, I would imagine.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, this is kind of a weird lane because this Ricky is actually trying to be carry, it seems like. So I don't really have the best solution for how to handle this.
Yeah.
I suppose maybe just shoving the wave in and then trying to go pull for yourself is probably an option. But basically what it comes down to is like, if you have a 2-on-2 lane, you want to try to find an advantage somehow. And one of the easiest ways to get an advantage is by denying them experience through the pull, because then you end up higher leveled, obviously. And even in a lane that might be a little hard, I wouldn't say this is like a super hard lane necessarily, but they can definitely harass you down once they get to like level 3 and 4 and 5, because they'll have nukes and you don't have the ability to do anything about that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I mean, yeah, like, you shouldn't be able to get out CS'd by a Ricky since he has no base damage. So you're doing fine in CS. Again, this would be a good time to check the heroes, because if you notice that Luna has no regen, this is a really, really good opportunity to just go right click her. Maybe you did that there. But
yeah, I think I did it shortly after this, but somewhere around this point I checked and saw shit.
yeah, because that's like the big thing, right? So if they have no regen, then you know, all right, now's the time that I can destroy them.
Yeah, I think it was just then.
Yep.
And that's how I got the...
Perfect. So that's good.
Yeah, I think this is when I neutral deny as well. As I had gold for Wraith Band and Animal Courier, but no way to actually get...
Hopefully you don't deny yourself yet. Oh no, are you gonna actually deny yourself now? There's such a huge creep wave coming into tower.
Okay.
Like,
so you think I should have taken all that CS under the tower and then denied?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could just pop back in here, like this little pocket, use your healing salve, and then you could take all the CS, because you're probably going to be back in time for this wave, but you're missing 3 range creeps, which is a pretty big deal. And then obviously 2 other melee creeps as well. So we'll see how long it actually takes you to get back here. But you're missing out on 5... Oh, because you neutral denied, actually, it automatically sets your respawn timer to 24, I think, or 26 or something like that. So you're actually going to miss out on like 4 waves of creeps, which is essentially like 2 levels that you're missing right now.
Yeah. Okay, so neutral denies have a longer respawn timer than tower deny.
Yep. Yeah, let me actually look and see how much exactly it is, because I forget. What would I even search for to find this? Let's see.
So I probably would have been better off walking back in that case, maybe.
Well, like I said, I think you just use the salve here, and you get the creeps, and then you see what your HP is at. And I mean, I don't know. It's tough without a courier, but I think that missing all of these last hits is significantly worse than being able to get, you know, your 1 Wraith Band. Maybe you end up having to just go for like treads and part of your Battle Fury first, just using the side shop. Because I mean, you'll eventually get the Wraith Bands. Maybe you're gonna die at some point anyway, but.
Like, I could have gotten straight into an Elven skin and boots, which would have been useful for getting kills on Luna and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
She's got higher base movement speed, hasn't she?
Exactly. I can't.
And I mean, I could actually just get 2 Band of Elven skins anyway, because they build into Yasha later on.
Yep. Yeah, and that's, you know, that's part of Dota, right, is just being as efficient as possible. So in this kind of unfortunate scenario where you don't have a courier to bring you the normal items that you would buy, you can still be efficient by just buying items that you're eventually going to use anyway that also still help you by increasing your damage or health or regeneration. So that's always my approach. Like, a lot of times if I'm playing carry, I mean, just in pubs in general, people are very bad at kind of like managing how they use the courier. So oftentimes, even though you might be higher priority, you're not going to get the courier for like 2 or 3 more minutes, because people are always sending out, you know, little pieces of items really inefficiently. And in that case, you don't want to just sit there and lane with like 900 gold in your inventory, because it's basically like you're not even farmed at that point. So then you just kind of buy other stuff that you will eventually use, so that you are spending the gold in case you die, and also because, you know, part of having high net worth as a hero is actually having it in your inventory.
Yeah, but another thing is, Ring of Health might have been good for this lane, because without a courier, I can't get regen out, right?
I agree.
It would give me much higher regen, which also helps with the fact that it's a very difficult lane without support.
Yep, I
builds into Battle Fury.
Completely agree. If I'm playing PA or some hero, an anti-mage, something like that, and I realize that I'm not going to be able to use the courier very much, and I'm against a high harass lane, I will absolutely prioritize the Ring of Health, because otherwise you're just going to get forced out of lane, and then you're just, you know, you can't carry the game if you can't hit creeps.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a very good observation, and if you are recognizing, you know, and you see, right, they're level 4 and level 3. I do like that you're going to get these runes. This is another thing you can do in a hard lane, is just really prioritize getting the runes, because oftentimes if it's a hard lane, it's because they're pressuring you in the lane itself, which gives you the opportunity to steal the bounty runes. So this is a good move. And just tiny little bit of efficiency, I'd probably be eating a tango while this is all happening, so you can be up at full health by the time you get back.
Yeah.
Ricky's bringing tranquil boots. Maybe? I'm not sure who this is going to. Anyway. So I mean, yeah, this is definitely to that point where the lane it's pretty hard for you to lane. You don't really just want to be like sitting in the lane. That being said, you do have mana break, so if you're able to burn their mana, then you can play a lot more aggressively, because then they can't nuke you, obviously. So I would maybe be focusing on doing exactly this, hitting them. I wouldn't chase this guy. I'd start hitting the Luna, because it's more important to actually get rid of the mana than it is to get rid of the HP at this point, because the whole reason that this lane is hard is because they're using their mana to nuke you.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, because I was just thinking about the fact that my health was low and they were making it like, I was trying to get them out of lane, trying to force them out.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about the fact that without their mana they can't harass, and that's a good.
Yeah, they're like, if you think about it, one of the kind of fun ways to think about it is like, okay, so if you're against like a Skywrath mage, for example, and the Skywrath has no mana, it's basically like the Skywrath mage is dead.
Yeah.
Right. So in that sense, like, without the ability to stun you, this hero presents basically no threat to you whatsoever.
Yeah, he gets clear damage off on me all the time, but that's not that big of a deal. I can regen through that easily.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't like bringing out more tangos at this point. I think 6 minutes in is a little bit too late to bring tangos to yourself. I would just bring maybe 2 salves, and then really start looking for that ring of health as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You could also, another kind of interesting thing that you could potentially think about doing in this game is, because your Ricky's level 5 and appears to be maybe going for like carry items. I don't really know what he's doing. Looks like he's just rushing a Diffusal Blade, maybe, if this is his. It is. You could just prioritize getting a Mask of Madness, or not Mask of Madness, a Morbid Mask, and then going and jungling and building a Vlad's, because Vlad's is definitely an item that a lot of people are building on Anti-Mage pretty regularly. It's a really good item if you're having a kind of struggle in the early game, or you feel like you need to fight earlier, just because it's a very good early game fighting item. And if you have the Morbid Mask at the very least, then you can easily jungle and just kind of like concede this lane to Ricky, and in that way you end up giving him a huge boost of levels and experience and potentially even CS, while you're also getting gold and experience, and not splitting it 2 ways. So that's something that I would definitely consider doing here, is just kind of like going to the jungle at this point with some lifesteal instead of continuing to ferry yourself out regen.
Okay. That was literally the last question I asked on Discord, was like, how can I jungle earlier on AM? So yeah, okay, I'll have to add Vlad's to the my guide I've been.
Yeah, it's you know, it's not an every game item for sure, but in this one it might have been the option. I think either of Vlad's or a Ring of Health will allow you to pretty much jungle indefinitely.
Yeah, I tend to have some trouble in the super early game if I just have a Ring of Health. But yeah, that's for sure.
And just for reference, like, okay, so this is 110 gold, this is 90 gold, and this is another 75 gold, right? So essentially like 300 gold worth of items, 300 gold worth of CS, which is what, like 6 CS? So more than a full creep wave is just being spent like every minute or so for you to just stay in the lane.
Yeah.
Which means that like even though you're getting CS, and I mean you're still doing pretty well considering how tough this lane is. But if you think about it, like you're not really advancing yourself very much because you're just constantly having to buy more regen.
Yeah, I was definitely struggling with. That's why I wanted to know about doing the jungle, because it's just, it can be just a huge time waste if you can't do anything in the lane.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's, you know, that's just one of the things, like that's what really kind of will allow you to take your carry game to the next level, is knowing when and where and how you can get more farm in any situation, and a lot of the time it's in tough situations. So
yeah,
you know, if you're picking Anti-Mage a lot, I would say that probably 70 to 80% of your laning stages are going to be bad, right? Because Anti-Mage is just a hero that generally gets pressured very hard. And he's actually a pretty good aggressive hero with a good support, but in this lane, obviously you don't have that. So you're kind of forced into that scenario where you basically just have to get what you can.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think at this point, like 9 minutes in, it's probably time to just go to the jungle. And you know, you can just walk over to this camp, and you can do this camp, and then you can use the shrine yourself, because hey, you're the carry, so you have priority a lot of the time on using the regen that's available. And you can go to this camp, and probably these ones have respawned. Maybe you come back over here, and then the lane is back under tower. Who knows? Or you could just continue your farming pattern like all the way over here, maybe end up at this secret shop, pick up your ring of health, and maybe contribute to a fight down here.
Yeah.
The main thing that I would want to stress is that, and this goes for really any position and any hero, is if you're in a lane where it feels like you're kind of useless, just go somewhere else. Like that's the best advice I can give you. And it might not always seem like the correct move, because hey, you're a carry, you're supposed to be getting farm. But at the same time, if you can, you know, farm your way over here, maybe you even use both shrines if this one was still active. You pick up, you know, a level and a half or 2 levels on your way to the bottom lane. Now you're level 6, let's say, or level 7, and you have enough gold for maybe your treads by then. And you show up in the bottom lane, and now you've changed your map orientation, so you're no longer stuck in this really annoying lane against a Luna Sven. And now you're here in the bottom lane where your team has been devoting a lot of resources to fighting. So you're kind of taking your weak lane and moving yourself to your strong lane, which makes that strong lane even stronger because now there's an extra hero there, right?
Yeah.
So then you can force the other team to respond to that, and either you're going to win a fight against them because you have more heroes here, or the Luna and the Sven are going to show up here because they're like, hey, Anti-Mage is there, let's go kill him again. That was fun to do in lane. And because you farmed your way over here, and Anti-Mage is one of the few heroes that can really do this effectively, because you can, you know, blink between camps and get there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But because you farmed your way over here, you still have your TP scroll. So Luna and Sven TP down, they come pressure you, and you just immediately TP back to the top lane, and you've made, you know, a huge amount of space for yourself.
Yeah, I get a free lane.
Yep.
And all the free CS that comes with that. Exactly.
So that would probably be my approach. Would be to just kind of like try and make space for yourself. Since Ricky's not making space for you, your team is not making space for you, you kind of have to make space for yourself. And that means looking for a place that either you can make stronger and pressure, or just simply doesn't have any heroes, like maybe the mid lane.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to keep watching this laning stage more? Should we go, like, what particular questions about this game do you have at this point?
I mean, I think that covers sort of the main points of like what to do if it's a super hard lane, and how to stay alive in laning. I don't really know what I want to look at next, really.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead.
Well, yeah, I bought tangos here for regen until I get Ring of Health for jungling. What's your sort of opinion on that? Because
I don't like it.
They're quite expensive.
I don't like it, and the main reason I don't like it is because you have a shrine here available to you.
Yeah.
So instead of spending the 90 gold on this, you might as well save that 90 gold, go towards your Ring of Health, regen up here. Like, there's actually no reason for you not to use this shrine right now.
Yeah.
It's free. Like, you don't have to go all the way back to base to get full health, and you know, you definitely have to be kind of careful when you're using shrines, and maybe you even want to ping it out to see if Ricky wants to come with you or Axe wants to run over there or something like that. But remember, like, you are the carry and you're the insurance policy in this game, so your win condition actually matters. And that means that you should just do and take as many resources as you need to get to that win condition. So that would be my thought.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the next thing I would probably prioritize is getting boots. Just because, I mean, so this is good. Coming up here, getting a kill. Just because you are having to kind of run back and forth between various places. So having boots is actually very important because it ends up saving you a huge amount of time.
Yeah, I think that's what I want next for that very reason. Yeah, I'm going there right now.
What is happening in this bottom lane? Why does this guy have 2 gloves of haste?
Oh, you should wait and see what he buys next.
I don't want to know. Okay, so alright, so this is actually kind of an interesting decision. So I said that boots is important, but at the same time, if you hadn't bought these boots, you'd have enough for a Ring of Health. So I'd probably actually prioritize getting that Ring of Health.
Okay.
I assume this is the correct gold for you.
Yeah.
Not replay bugged or anything, because if it is,
I remember it. That was exactly the.
Okay, so if it is, then you definitely would have enough gold for Ring of Health, which at this point would be really useful because you're basically just trying to play off the map as much as possible since your tower's gone. Also, one kind of nice thing about losing this tower so early is that you're going to be able to get farm here a lot, so you should kind of prioritize maybe being here anytime that the wave pushes up. And then if the other team decides that they want to continue pressuring that lane, then it's very easy for you to just rotate into their jungle. So the fact that they took this early tower is actually kind of good for you because it sort of opens up the map, just because they have, you know, this whole area that they can reside in. And if they decide to control this area, then, you know, there's a lot of space for the Anti-Mage.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we kind of talked about, the main thing is that you've been kind of bashing your head against the wall, fighting these 2 heroes over and over and over, and it's just not working out. So if that's the case, then you got to just go somewhere else.
Yeah, so that's our next teleport into the bot jungle.
Also, remember to tread switch there when you're running away, because strength treads would give you more HP and you might not die to that.
Yeah. I've been trying to work on my tread micro as well.
What's your hotkey setup, by the way, if I can ask?
ZXCV. BN.
Okay, for your items.
Yeah.
ZXCVB. Okay, cool. And then you use regular QWER for your abilities?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that seems fine. I like to have a couple items bound to like my mouse and stuff, just because sometimes I'm using them a lot, like phase boots or BKB or blade mail or something like that. I need to have immediate access to, so I have a mouse button I have some of that bound to. But if you find yourself controlling your items well with your current setup, then I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah, you'll see I'll move my treads into the Z slot, which is the top left shot slot. because that I'm better at controlling that consistently.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that I do, and I actually cannot play Dota if I don't have my items in specific slots, because I'm so used to like certain functions being in certain places. So I definitely think that having some sort of priority on that is actually pretty important.
Yeah.
As far as this TP, I really don't like the use of the TP, because you use a TP, which is like one of the most important items in the game, 80-second cooldown, to move this far, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you very easily could have just blinked out of fountain, so you still have your mana regen, and then by the time you get to here, you can blink again. So in about the same amount of time, and for just slightly more mana, you could be here and still have the TP available to you, which could be extremely important, because if you're going to come down here and push this lane, right, and they respond to you and 3 or 4 heroes show up, then if you had a TP scroll, now you could just, you know, blink into the trees and TP to the top lane, and then again you have a completely free lane.
Yeah. Yeah, normally I do walk out to lane. I walk out to forest if I'm in that situation.
Just a little autopilot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll happen. Okay, so we've got all 5 heroes here in the bottom lane. Let's see where you move. I would definitely not go here.
Okay.
I would definitely go here, and I would start pushing this mid tower.
Yeah.
Because they're putting a lot of pressure on you. They have a very early game. Pugna, you know, Luna, Lina, all of these heroes are quite good at hitting towers in the early game, which means that you need to sort of create some sort of pressure on the map for them to respond to you. Otherwise, they're just going to stay as 5 and just roll down all of your towers.
Yeah, and the other thing is, we've got vision on all 5. I know it's perfectly safe for me to go into mid and take all that free CS.
Yep.
And lane CS is worth more than jungle CS, especially if I haven't got Battle Fury.
Yep, and especially if it's providing you with extra vision and tower pressure. More importantly than the gold, actually, is the fact that you'd be able to potentially break open this middle part of the map, which is really good for Anti-Mage, because it allows you to just kind of like freely roam, you know, their jungle and your jungle together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Look at the situation and see that it's terrible.
Oh, that was a very ballsy blink, dude. Very ballsy blink, but alright, you can get away with it, so that's okay. Sniping a kill. I definitely fly yourself out ATP. And man, I would almost consider... This is one of those games where I'd almost consider just not even getting a Battle Fury, because it's so early pressure from them.
Yeah.
I would almost just go like Manta style immediately.
Yeah, just straight for the Manta style.
But I don't know. That's kind of a hard decision to make, because if it doesn't go well, then you're stuck with a Manta style. But you still are Anti-Mage, and you can farm faster than most other heroes in the game because of your blink.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But this is good. I mean, prioritizing ancients, if you can kill them fairly quickly, is always a good tactic if you're behind. They obviously give you the most gold and experience. And then I actually want to look at your player perspective. Let's see. So I would definitely make sure that I'm checking anybody that shows on the map.
Yeah.
You can see you're just sitting here with your camera on these. And all you really have to do, like, you can just even just right click a camp like you were doing there, and then just move your camera, because you weren't even doing like animation canceling to speed up the farm, so there's really no reason for you not to be looking around at the map.
Yeah.
Counter spell off. Now he's out of mana, and you should definitely be leaving at this point. Stayed a little bit too long, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was hoping for a cheeky kill because I didn't realize they were all there.
You didn't realize? Oh, what a snipe. You said you didn't realize that they were all there?
Yeah, that was minimap control.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, 3 or 4 of them showed on the minimap over here just a few seconds beforehand. So that's the kind of information that, especially as an anti-mage, you really, really need to pay attention to.
Yeah, I've been working on my minimap, but it's still pretty bad.
That's all right. But okay, so in this spot right now, if you look at the map, where would you say you should go? And what's the main problem for you guys right now?
I mean, they're taking a tier 2 on top, which is not exactly great. But I think the main problem is that there's creeps pushing into mid, really. It's free farming mid. Top lane is pretty dangerous, and my team isn't going to do anything there. They're too far away. So that tower's already lost. So I think probably going mid for the farm there.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, mid is definitely an issue, but how much vision do you guys have on the map?
Oh, none.
0, right?
Yeah.
So it's, if you actually were to draw a circle around the area that your team currently controls, it's like this, right?
Yeah.
Basically just your base.
Yeah.
So it's pretty imperative that you guys start to have some sort of vision on the map if you're going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
And that means that you need to have the creep wave going this direction.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's really kind of up to you to make sure that the creep waves are going this way. And usually as an anti-mage, you can actually kind of control the creep equilibrium of 2 waves just because you can, clear them pretty quickly and get from one to the other. Keeping here, it makes basically 0 sense. Because, I mean, you shouldn't be looking to fight them right now.
Yeah.
You should be looking to kind of manage your creep waves, right? Because they can only hit your tier 3 towers if they have creep waves.
Yeah.
So that's the most effective way to stall out a very early game death ball push, is just to not let them have creep waves. Like, you can't fight them, so you just make sure that they don't have backdoor protection disabled.
Yeah, cut the creeps.
Yep. And so if you were to just run out here, you kill this creep wave, you push it into this tower, and then you see where they are. Are they still up here at hitting the tier 2? Do you think that they're going to potentially go high ground? And you can kind of make that determination if you see that they all have like full HP and mana, because then sure, they very well could go high ground. But if they're all kind of like this Luna, pretty low HP, pretty low mana, then there's a pretty good chance they're going to back out after taking this tier 2 tower. And so if that's the case, then you kind of have 2 different paths that you can go down. So let's kind of play that scenario out. Let's say you push this creep wave out to the river. You see that they are still not taking this tier 2 tower. What would you do next in that scenario? If you were like right here and the creep wave was like here.
I mean, I'm looking at creeps coming a bit close on bottom, which is not making me very happy.
Over here.
They've still got a strong presence around top, which means that they could go for that tower, but fundamentally the tower's not super defensible. I mean, the only way I could really defend it is if I cut their creeps between their tier 1 and tier 2.
Over here?
Yeah. And that's the only way I think I could save the top tower from falling.
Mm-hmm.
But that's in itself super duper dangerous, especially without any vision in their jungle.
Yeah, it is to some extent. Although you do know that they're kind of in this area because they've been sort of like poking at this tower and skirmishing a little bit with your team.
Yeah.
So chances are they're actually in your jungle and not in their jungle for the most part. So what I would do, and I don't know if this is like 100% the best decision, but what I would do is I would push this creep wave, and I would actually push the creep wave and just start hitting this tower. And I would hit this tower until a TP response comes. Or I always try to have like kind of an internal clock of how long I've been showing on the map in a vulnerable spot in my head. And usually, I mean, depending on the heroes and depending on who has blink daggers and invisibility and stuff like that, it seems to be like maybe anywhere from 2 to 5, maybe 7 or 8 seconds is acceptable in various scenarios, but any more than that and you're probably going to be in trouble. You're just asking to die. So I would shove this wave in. I would probably hit this tower 2 or 3 times. I'd have that clock going. Okay, I've been hitting the tower for 1, 2, 3, and then I'd probably end up blinking myself up this way. And I would farm their jungle here, and then again, if you've kind of farmed in that pattern, you come down the mid, you pressure the tower, maybe you force a rotation to the tower, you disappear over this direction. If these other 2 heroes, or 3 heroes, or whatever it is, are still trying to pressure this tower, then you can go ahead and cut the wave.
Yeah.
If these heroes have disappeared, then maybe farming this area is not super smart, and so you just need to kind of like back your way out into your jungle again. But regardless, at the very least, if you can get your creep wave onto this tower, somebody is going to show themselves, and that is more information than your team currently has, because if we switch back to the Dire, like right now, you have absolutely no idea where any of the heroes are.
Yeah.
And so the only way to get vision of any of the heroes is to force them to reveal themselves.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is to threaten their buildings. So, and, you know, it's good. Like, Anti-Mage is one of the best heroes in the game to practice this with, because, you know, 80% of his gameplay is basically that.
Yeah.
Manipulating the other team and forcing them to show themselves when they don't want to be showing themselves. Okay, well, now you have vision of 2 heroes or 3 heroes because Lena's dead, so definitely want to be out of the jungle at this point. Grabbing the bounties is good. I need to abandon, huh?
Yeah.
So this is definitely not an ideal game, but it's still, you know, clearly we can still talk about a lot of the patterns. So I like this. You pick up the bounties. You're pushing the bottom lane. I would almost consider just buying myself, because of the type of hero you are, because of where you need to play and how you need to play this game. I would definitely just buy myself a ward, and I would just put it on this shrine.
Yeah, I have wards in my guide to buy them if I need them, but I keep forgetting. I've been getting better and better at buying them when I need vision.
Cool. Well, yeah, this would be a great time to do that. You know, 75 gold, put it on the shrine, allows you to basically freely pressure this tower. If anybody shows up, obviously you can just leave. But this move is good. You know, getting the creep wave onto the tower means that Wind Ranger has to reveal herself. Allows you to take farm that's kind of close by, but you're never in danger here. Especially because these guys are showing mid. So yeah, now I would probably consider either making my way over to cut this wave mid, or I would just go cut this wave. I don't really think that farming a small camp is that important.
Yeah.
And now, especially if she's showing here and you cut this wave, like, that's super valuable, because then she's just kind of stuck here with nothing to do. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and skip ahead. Did you end up winning this game?
Yeah.
Nice. 4v5, you got the nice extra gold from Legion being dead.
3v5.
3v5.
The Luna was dropping in and out, to be fair, but...
Okay. Quite the game of Dota 2, I must say. But okay, so you go for Manta, you go for Battle Fury, and then you go Scotty. This seems fine to me as far as the itemization.
Yeah.
I think maybe going for a Basher before Scotty is potentially good, just because squishy hero, squishy hero, squishy hero, right? That you can just immediately jump on and kill.
Yeah.
But I don't hate the Scotty. I think the Scotty's fine.
I definitely thought about it, but I wanted the survivability from Skadi in case I got stunned quite heavily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's fine. Some of that might just be a feel thing, so your feel could very well just be the correct move. But anyway, I think that's probably all we need to look at for that replay. Do you have another one that you'd like to look at, or would you like to maybe look at like a pro replay of an anti-mage game, or what do you think?
I don't know really. I don't have a super good one which had a super tough lane. Actually, the one before that was kind of interesting because I had a really good laning phase. It was like a solo off lane versus me and a Rubik. But my Battle Fury timing was still quite poor.
Okay, yeah, let's look at that.
Let me just type you the number one second. Alright, there you go.
All right.
It was a super easy game, total stomp, but even though I had a really good laning phase, I only had an 18-minute Battle Fury, and I think I should have been able to do better. And I don't really know what I should have done.
Okay. Well, let's take a look. Let us take a look and find out. I don't play a ton of anti-mage these days because I mostly play support, but I'm not super sure what like the ideal Battle Fury timing is since everybody's buying, you know, Wraith bands and stuff now beforehand. But we'll sort of see if there were some inefficiencies that we can pick up on.
Well, I think Orifex was saying that 18 minutes is alright if you have a tough lane, but this was 18-minute timing with an entirely free lane.
Okay.
I think I had like 54, 60 last hits at 10 minutes. Something like that.
Okay, so first thing, obviously, you blocked the wave into the tower.
Yeah, I blocked a little too high.
Pretty much, you just like don't have to block this wave. Basically, is the new way to play the safe lane. Is you basically just don't block.
Yeah, I tried to let the first one go ahead, but I accidentally blocked it instead.
That's right. Okay, so pick up the Quelling Blade. Missed a CS there. And I'm just going to point that out because we're talking about timing. So there's one CS that was missed. That one. Got that one, missed that one. Missed that one. Missed that one also. Got that one. Okay, so now what can you really do though? Like, can you actually pressure this Wind Ranger under tower?
No, not really.
I would say no. So, I mean, well, in theory, you definitely do want to be, you know, like denying these creeps and stuff like that. The wave is just constantly being shoved in, so you might be better off just coming back here and, you know, farming this camp or even just doing a side pull for yourself. Like, you know that you can cut this tree right here and you can just pull it into the wave.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I would do instead of trying to contest these last hits against a Wind Ranger who can just wind run away from you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't believe you didn't deny that.
I know. I had the exact same thought. I was just like, is this guy actually going to deny that?
Luckily, no. Okay, so aggro pulling, that's good. Back to your creep. Definitely eat your tangos. You're quite low on HP.
Yeah, I think I eat it right now. Yeah.
And you have like photographic memory of what you did in these games, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just missed another 3 CS.
Yeah.
So it's like 8 fairly easy CS that we've missed so far.
Yeah, that was just bad positioning. I should have used Blink probably to get... I think I could have gotten 2 or 3 of them if I'd used Blink.
Yeah.
Rather than...
So I would say right now you probably should be at around 20.
Yeah. As I said, it was an entirely free lane, so I could have gotten much better time with it. Yeah, that's another one where I have Blink and I'm just not utilizing it to get CS, even though I know the lane is free.
Yep, and a lot of it comes down to just kind of like pre-planning for these CS that are becoming available. Like one thing that you should always be looking for, one thing that makes it really easy to know like what creep you should be positioning for next is whatever one the range creep is targeting is going to be the lowest creep usually.
Yeah.
So just always kind of try to pay attention to the range creep target in a creep wave, because that's usually going to be the one that you're going to have to contest or CS or deny. And that will allow you to, you know, maybe not just be running around all over the place so much. It does kind of seem like you have a lot of wasted movement in terms of like you're kind of just running around and setting up sometimes properly for these CS, but a lot of the times it seems like you're really, really out of position to get the CS. And that is definitely making it harder for you to actually, you know, secure these last hits that you should be getting. Because maybe you're like too far away and then your hero has to not only walk back, but also turn around. And turn rate is a huge, huge thing in this game as far as your timing goes. There's another one, right? That one was 100% your turn rate while you didn't get that, right?
Yeah, you could see I turned back, but then I thought I turned back too early. So I was going to have to tank a bunch of hits or miss the creep. So I turned back again, and then I realized my turn rate was too slow, and I turned back again. You know, you could see my thought process like, oh, I have to turn back for this creep. Oh, I've turned back too early. Yeah, that was just a mess.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be too worried about trading some of your HP for creeps. Obviously, you don't want to tank the creeps too much, but if you're under the tower, you know, and you have a bunch of regen, you might as well just like eat a tango and just tank the creeps to ensure that you get the CS.
Yeah, again, this is basically an entirely free lane, so it doesn't matter if I spend my regen on tanking creeps so much, because there's not much kill threat on me.
Exactly. Okay, so we're buying another set of tangos, which doesn't really seem to be that necessary, considering you've got 2 and a salve in inventory at the moment.
Right. And you're gonna see me not using Blink in 3 seconds, and it's gonna be really bad.
Alright, let's see. Were you even looking at the Wind Ranger? Probably not, right?
I was looking at my path of escape.
Yeah.
But I was about to use Blink. I thought about using Blink right here. And then...
Alright, but look at your camera positioning.
Yeah.
Did you watch the new video that Jenkins just put out recently?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, this is all wasted space, right?
Yeah.
There's no danger here. It's only above you.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean that death is actually quite a big deal because, like you keep saying, it was a pretty free lane. So any early death like that is extra costly if you really shouldn't be dying there.
Yeah.
You know, some of your deaths in the previous game were a lot more kind of like acceptable because you were against this very high harass pressure lane, but in this one, you know, you've essentially been able to just free farm.
Yeah, I had a huge amount of regen and I didn't use it, and I let myself die for literally no good reason. I didn't use blink, I didn't use my regen. I was much more aggressive, much more quick using blink there because I realized my error previously. I just didn't use blink when I should have done, and that was a huge cost.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at 31 CS. We've got our 2 Wraith Bands. We're going for Treads next.
If I remember correctly from the end screen, I lost 110 gold and 17 seconds from that. So it wasn't exactly a catastrophic death, but at the same time, there was no reason for it.
Right. Okay, so farming. We got some more CS there. That's good. Okay, so here, let's see. You see 1, 2, 3 heroes mid. Means that we can freely go pressure this tower. So this is correct. What you're doing, I would just be auto attacking all of these creeps as much as possible, because you don't really want to just like carefully CS when you're under tower. You want to kill the creep wave as quickly as possible so that your creeps start hitting the tower.
Yeah, so I started by auto-attacking the ranged creep, and then the tower aggroed me because I was too close to it.
Gotcha. You know how to reset tower aggro, right?
Yeah, I did, but that killed my creep that was next to the tower, and then I was close to the tower.
Gotcha, I see. Okay.
So I denied the closest creep to the tower and ended up being the closest thing to the tower after I reset aggro.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I just had to run away at that point.
Makes sense. Okay, well again, I would just go ahead and probably auto-attack this down, and then just go farm this camp. That would help accelerate you a bit more. Although when this creep wave comes in, obviously you're going to want to deal with that first. So this seems fine. Missed another CS.
Yeah, that was pretty upset about that, because I really shouldn't have missed that CS. That was...
Okay, so as soon as Sniper shows that he's here, you should just immediately go farm these camps. It just shows that, okay, they're going to try and defend this lane. You don't need to be trying to like find a kill on the Sniper. You know, your job is not to get kills at the moment.
Yeah, I got really greedy because he was under level.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out okay, but I probably slowed my farm by a good long bit.
Yeah, I mean, you say it worked out okay. You didn't die. I wouldn't say it's necessarily okay to waste all of this time.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? I slowed my Battle Fury by quite a chunk, I think, by that era of judgment. But
yep. Oh, pick up the bounty! You were right next to it.
Yeah, I realized, and I was very upset with myself with that as well.
Okay, and now you're trying to fight. This is just, man, you just go farm. Like,
yeah.
Just remember, as the carry player, like, you are the insurance policy.
Yeah.
You are the reason that your whole team is doing other stuff elsewhere, is to give you enough time to become the strongest hero on the map. So yes, you got a kill, but that was 237 gold. And this is about 200 gold. This is another, 150 gold. Like, you could have killed this camp and this creep wave, and probably another camp or another creep wave as well in the same amount of time. And
there was a lot of faffing about there.
Yeah.
For no good real reason.
And just kind of a lot of just like running around, you're not moving very much. Again, not getting any farm. So back to farming. Got 57 CS. What's our net worth look like? We're higher than everybody, so that's good. Pressuring the tower, good. Pop the salve now and go hit this. Eventually.
I think that is what I do.
Okay.
Yep.
Bring up health into the inventory hopefully soon. Good.
Yep.
And then, yeah, go farm this one. Chasing people again.
Yeah, so I saw the double damage and I saw the whoever that was, Wind Ranger, I think, there. And so I got a bit greedy once I got the double damage.
Yep. And now we're just not hitting creeps again.
Yeah.
We're looking for an opportunity to get a kill. And kills don't really matter that much on Anti-Mage. So again, I'd like to see you just going back and farming sooner than you did here. You did make the correct decision. It just took about 20-30 seconds, which could have been getting farm.
Yeah, not to mention it was time with a double damage rune, which is literally worth twice as much because I can kill twice as many creeps.
Yep.
My blink's at maximum level, so it's not like I'm spending any time between camps. I literally could have just killed twice the number of creeps in that time.
Yep. Yeah, so you know, you're definitely recognizing these things, which is good. You just need to remember to actually do them once you are playing a game again, which can always be a little bit difficult just because, you know, there's always so much going on. I'd probably go pick up the Void Stone now so you have the mana regeneration to sustain your blinking.
Yeah. I normally go for the Demon Edge first. But I was having mana troubles this match, and I should have gotten the Void Stone first. I thought about it.
Yeah, I think that usually finishing the Perseverance is almost always better.
Okay.
You could have TP'd to the shrine here, which
then
allows you to farm, you know, this camp and then farm your way back to the lane just in time for this creep wave. But instead, go here and then you head back to the jungle. So this is pretty inefficient use of your ability as a carry. And you're just putting, you know, yet another hero on this side of the map where you already have so many heroes. So I definitely like to see you just go here and then farm your way and continue to pressure over here because the rest of your team is, you know, doing quite well in the other lanes. So you don't really need to be on the side of the map unless you're also planning to join them to fight. But because they're, you know, doing so well, you don't really need to join them to fight, which means that you can just kind of continue to be as greedy as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, if I teleported to the other shrine, I wouldn't have to backtrack to get my Demon Edge.
Yep.
The number of creep camps I would have cleared would mean I would have had my Demon Edge by the time I got to the secret shop.
Yep. That is correct. Alright, so, I mean, I think that with perhaps some better movement and missing less of those early CS and not dying there, which are, so these are all things that are avoidable or are very easy to prove upon. This could very easily be a completed Battle Fury at this point, right?
Yeah.
So maybe around 1630, something like that.
I easily missed 400, 500 gold at this point.
Yeah.
At least, at the bare minimum.
Yep.
So.
And we kind of identified when and where those sort of like losses of gold occurred. So.
Yeah, so the biggest one is definitely me chasing kills.
Yep. Yep. Basically, as a carry in general, and even more particularly on Anti-Mage, the only reason you ever really want to show up for a fight is if you are planning on transitioning it into either like a lane switch or you're going to, you know, defend a tower, or you're going to pressure another tower with that move.
Yeah.
If your team is just happily fighting 4-on-5 and winning, then you can just like do nothing but hit creeps until you have your items.
Yeah.
And also, of course,
so...
the types of creeps that you're hitting is also important, right? So hopefully you're hitting creeps that are pressuring the lane, and after that, then you can maybe focus on ancients or whatever else is available to you.
Yeah, so sniper was staying away from the tower here, which is... Yeah.
Okay. So that is about an hour. Do you have any final questions or anything that you want to ask about meta or anti-mage or carry or whatever?
I mean, I think that deals with my main ones on how to sort of just amplify what I'm doing, fix my weakest areas. So I think the biggest thing is my indecisiveness. Like, I tend to walk in a circle if I'm not sure what.
Yeah.
Right? And you're seeing a lot of walking in circles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely true. And you know, it's hard to know exactly where you should be and what you should be doing all the time. And I often still do this myself, and I get really upset at myself. Like if I'm playing support, for example, and I feel like I'm useless in the lane and I can't figure out where to go next, I'm like, I know that I'm wasting time and I know that I'm being inefficient, but I'm like, what am I supposed to do right now? So always just kind of asking yourself that question, you know, like where is, you know, really, where can I actually get the most done? And then also as a carry, just prioritizing not going after kills so much until you're like truly farmed, I would say.
Did you like that farming of jungle creeps and heroes at the same time?
Oh yeah, that was efficiency right there.
Although this bit is super annoying. Rubik stacked the crack camp with it was the purple ones, and the purple ones are terrible.
Yeah, this is not happening. This is not happening. You should definitely not be farming
this camp. Not only is it
not
happening.
This is definitely not a camp that you should be farming right now.
Rubik and fucking Pudge take all of the gold.
And about how efficient was that farming of those?
that was the worst thing ever. Like if I had gotten all of the gold from that would have been alright. But the thing was, I got nothing from it because Rubik and Pudge took all the last.
Yeah. I don't even know if that would have been efficient if you had gotten all of the gold, because that took you about a minute to finish the ancient step.
I mean, that's true, but it would have been more efficient for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you doing the session and letting me record and everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. And I think that you definitely have some, you know, some good habits and stuff. It's just a matter of building on those and kind of starting to train yourself out of like the very pub oriented mentality of just like fight.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I think I've got a lot of good points to work on. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet, man. Take care.
You too.